Hello, my name's Chad Lipse. You may or may not know this, but Alaska has been facing statewide declines in salmon populations for the last 10 years. These declining populations are becoming extremely noticeable for anyone who's fished in the areas for the last 10 years, and they're also becoming a topic of concern for many others as well. The controversial issue can be blamed on numerous sources, but there is one way we can fix the situation, and that would be to decrease the amount of commercial fishing permits that are issued. The Alaska Board of Fisheries should not allow non-residents to obtain or hold commercial fishing permits. So what is commercial fishing? Commercial fishing is fishing for commercial gain or profit. Most often takes place in wild fisheries, such as we have here in Alaska with our wild Pacific salmon. And what happens is large boats go out and most of the time using nets catch large quantities of salmon. Permits are issued to permit holders to fish certain areas throughout the commercial fishing season. They can be purchased and sold by the permit holders in most cases. There's very few that are locked and not able to be sold. And other than subsistence permits, they don't require the permit holder to reside in the state of Alaska. Out of the roughly 14,500 commercial fishing permits, about 23.2%, or 3,300 of those, are held by non-residents. By eliminating the 23.2% of permits held by non-residents, thousands of salmon would make it back to their spawning grounds. According to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, commercial salmon harvest for 2014 were 156,676,000 salmon caught commercially. By eliminating 23.2%, or roughly 3,300 permits held by non-residents, we could potentially save up to 36 million fish that would make it back to their native rivers to spawn. Numbers like this would enhance salmon fisheries all throughout the state and help alleviate the declining salmon populations that we're seeing. Naturally, with this many more fish returning, salmon runs would begin to grow once again. By allowing more salmon to return to the rivers and enhancing our future salmon runs, sport fishing would also see a comeback and provide a social and economic gain for the state. In 1999, the Institute of Social and Economic Research provided an economic summary for the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, showing the financial gain and influence that sport fishing, or fishing by rod and reel, brought to the economy. According to that summary, $540 million were spent in the sport fishing industry alone. Out of that $540 million, $199 million of that was spent by tourists or non-residents visiting the state. Their money was spent on things such as lodging, groceries, guides to actually take them out and go fishing, and other gear and rods, things like that that are necessary to complete the trip. So it's not hard to see that having more fish returning to their native rivers will provide an economic boost for the Alaskan economy and specific local economies. Now, some people might say that taking non-resident commercial fishing permits won't guarantee higher salmon returns. It's true that decreasing the number of commercial fishing permits held by non-residents will not guarantee more fish. Non-resident permit holders may not catch as many fish as resident permit holders, and maybe there's no other reasons, or maybe there are other reasons why salmon runs are dwindling. However, taking that many permits completely out of the equation will absolutely affect the number of fish returning to the rivers. The bottom line is that whether we choose to address it or not, our once healthy and plentiful wild salmon returns are definitely in jeopardy. In addition, non-resident commercial fishing permits are at their highest percentages since commercial fishing permits were first issued and required. I would urge everyone listening to this to educate yourselves strictly on the numbers. Visit the Alaska Department of Fish and Game's website and take a look at the harvest obtained by commercial fishing. Correlate that with the percentage of non-resident permit holders and the historical run data for salmon returns throughout the state, and the numbers are going to speak for themselves.